Hello, pet parents of Regina or wherever you are. We are back for the Furry Friday. We have you on Facebook, we have you on TikTok. So if you see us kind of, looking back and forth, that is why. We can see Boyer got his new little backpack, so Nicole is able to easily carry him around. He is loving it. He is so chilling it. And how can you not love it? Like, look how cute he is in that. Okay, so for today's Furry Friday, we're mostly going to talk about new treats that we kind of got in stock from some of our favorite brands. And then we're also going to talk about some treats that we had before, and we haven't had them for a while, but we were finally able to get them back in. But first, Nicole is going to talk about our Barf to School bingo promo that we have in store for this month.
Yeah, so this is going to be for our local Regina, Saskatchewan peeps. This is going to be in-store only, but we're going to be giving out these fancy bingo cards. There's going to be lots of different things that you can do to earn stamps. At the end of the month, we're going to be taking your card from you. You're going to be entered in a draw bin of either 5 all the way up to 25 in the 5 increments, and then the best, I guess we're doing giveaways, so yeah. The more stamps you get, the better chance of winning the bigger giveaways. You're just going to want to bring the cards back by October the 3rd. That's the key. So, and bring them every time you come in store so that you don't miss out on any of your stamps. There's not only like buy thing stamps, there's lots of like kind of free ones you can get by following us on TikTok, liking different things on Instagram, sharing our reels, that kind of thing. So lots of easy ways to earn better prizes.
Yeah, and all of the prizes are super, super cool. And it's from some really big brands that we have, and we've got some prizes from them. But yeah, so I don't know if you can see, but the counter is full. I know last week we did talk a little bit about Aria Sit and Charmy. But we thought since we're kind of going through all treats again this week, we thought we'd throw them back in just in case you guys weren't able to catch us last week. But we have lots of cool stuff that we've had before. We had some stuff that Carly found in Vegas when she was at the Pet Expo. Yep. And we're still hoping to get more of that stuff as well. We're just waiting for our main distributor to get it on their website. But yeah, lots and lots of cool stuff. I am going to start with these guys. So,
oh yeah, those are cool.
These are super, super cool. If your pupper loves the churros or the yums that are usually like this, they come in a 4-pack. They now have them individually as well, which is really, really cool.
They're about double the size is what we worked out. So
yeah. So far they've been going over pretty well. These could be kind of used as like you are working from home and you want them to chew on something, this or just like a after supper kind of snack, doesn't matter. These won't be the longest lasting thing, but if we have any puppies out there, like Boyer, this would be perfect for him since he's kind of losing some teeth right now.
He loves the bacon one.
Yeah, so super, super good. It's just made of yak cheese, and then we have it in bacon, salmon, and this one's just cheese. So we have those. But to stick on the cheese train, I will quickly talk about these ones as well. So this is the same brand. They just have some different treats. So these are their Yucky Puffs. So what this is they took some of the ends of their original treats that they don't usually use, and they just turn them into puff treats. You can do this automatically. So if you have a little end of your treat left that you can't feed to your dog because they don't want to choke on it, put it in the microwave and it'll puff up. If you guys,
so cool.
Yeah, if you guys have been with us for a while, you know that we also have their popcorn. It's very similar to their popcorn, except it's just bigger pieces. That's all.
And it's already puffed for you.
Yes, exactly.
Don't have to put it in the microwave.
Exactly. So we have peanut butter and we have bacon as well. I would say that these would be kind of more for the bigger pups, so the medium to large, just because they are that bigger size, and they are going to be a little bit more calories. So Boyer could have these, but it's just going to be a higher calorie treat, where if he had something else, he could have a little bit more. But that's all for the cheese ones. Which one should we do next?
I'll talk about the lamb horns because I think these are really cool. So one of Boyer's favorite chews is the Icelandic lamb horns. They come in a couple different sizes. This one's the small size, but you can kind of see, I'm gonna try and show you on both cameras. Inside it, they're filled with like a bone marrow. So that's a super tasty. It's kind of a little stinky sometimes, but depends on the one you get. But these are really cool because basically it's the inside. So the marrow inside, they've taken it out and they've packaged it in kind of little bite-sized bits. So these are not going to be super long-lasting, not as long-lasting as the horn itself, but this is going to be super tasty because that's the tasty part. They've pulled it out, and yeah, I know Boyer loves his lamb horn and has definitely pulled out most of the marrow that he can get at, so I'm sure that he would also love these, and they're good for little, big, any size really.
Yeah. And another thing with those is they're super cool because they're 100% digestible.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not just going to sit in their gut like rawhide would. These are 100% natural, come from Iceland.
Single ingredient.
Single ingredient too, right? There's no preservatives or anything like that. There's no synthetics. There's no chemicals. They're super cool.
Yeah.
So there's those. I guess the next one, if we're kind of on the chew train, we could talk about these ones. So we've always had these, and we've kind of had them in different kinds. So they're called the Plaque Busters. These are just oyster shells that are just a quick chew to help help brush the teeth. That's all that this is. But now we got them in their packs. So instead of these, where I think these are 5 or 6 inches, these ones are almost double the size. So we have them in different flavors too. Like this one is pumpkin spice. I know we have it in the bigger pumpkin spice, but we also have it in bacon as well. And then we have it in the beef, and we have it in the fisherman's mix. So lots of cool different proteins there.
Yeah, the cool part is that they help clean the teeth naturally with oyster shells. So that's super fun.
Yeah, and
it's a fun way.
And if you feel it, it's almost like it kind of, you can tell that it'll help brush the teeth because it is more like a rugged thing.
Yeah.
Where the churros, yes, because they're chewing, it'll still help their teeth, and it is a hard cheese, but it doesn't have the same texture that this would to help kind of get that plaque off.
That, and there's coconut oil in them as well. So that's the other helpful thing for teeth cleaning.
Yes, so super cool. These have been going over really well. Everybody that gets them, they love them, and they come and get more because it's just kind of cool to have a quick treat that you know that helps.
Trying to get at it.
He
can smell it.
He smells the pumpkin spice. Oh, he almost had a little chomp there. He was ready to chomp.
He has them at home, so he's like, oh, I'm used to this.
Okay, well, let's keep trekking along.
All right. I'll go with these ones. I feel like we talked about them a while ago, but Primal got in some really cool treats. We weren't able to bring in the whole line at the same time. We brought in a bunch of freeze-dried ones, but these ones we just got in this week. They're little kind of jerky pieces. So this one is beef. I don't know if you can kind of see it through they're like little squares of jerky. This one's a beef.
They're only 5 calories per treat as well. So if you're into training.
Oh, there's bone broth in them. There you go. That's what I was looking for. So the freeze-dried ones are all goat's milk, and these ones are featuring their bone broth. So. Yeah,
and we also have them in cat as well. We originally brought in the cat ones, but we finally were able to get our hands on the dog ones as well, I believe. I don't know if they're the same
They're
size.
double the size.
So
the cat ones have 2 ounces, and these ones are 4 ounces in the treat. So a little bit more for the dogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they've got the beef bone broth in there, so good for additional bones, joints.
Yeah.
Always good.
Okay, you guys, this has been a really big hit for the small puppers that come into the store. Everybody that buys these, they rave about them. And we haven't had them in for probably at least 6 months, I would say. Honest Kitchen was just having a little bit of shortages here and there, so we couldn't get them. But these are the Surf and Turf Meaty Littles. So how I explain these is literally just like whole little meat bites in a bag. So they're almost like, they're kind of similar to the mini wags or the farm fresh sticks, but they're already cut up like the mini wags, but there's just different proteins in them. They're also, I think, yeah, they're 2 calories on average per treat. So these are also really, really great for training as well. And because they still have that whole like meat texture and they're not 100% dried out, the dogs go crazy for them because it's just like you're just giving them straight meat. So these are the surf and turf ones, both kinds. So we have beef and salmon, and we also have chicken and salmon. So super, super cool stuff. If you guys ever get your hands on these, you will not want to go back to anything else because they are really good. So what's next? You want to do your Charmy?
Sure. We talked quite in depth about Charmy last week. I'm not going to be able to hold on to them all right now, but we'll show them in little bits. But Charmy is a Canadian company. They source all these ingredients from Canada. They produce it in Canada, so we're super proud about that, to carry a Canadian brand. They are all air-dried treats. So the ones I'm holding here are duck. They're all duck. We have the duck, this one's the duck necks. We've got the duck feet, and we have the duck wings. So these are all going to be great chews. Instead of doing like a raw meaty bone in like the necks or the feet or the wings, we can do it in a dried form. So if you're not super comfortable with your pet with raw meat, you'll get the same benefits from chewing on these for the dental care as you would the raw bones.
Yeah,
but air dried.
Super, super cool. So yeah, they have the duck stuff. They also have rabbit. They have the rabbit ears, and these rabbit ears are flying off the shelf. And then we also have their rabbit feet as well. Hair and all. Hair is a really great source of fiber for them. And then we also have their beef products. So we have beef spleen and beef tendon. And then we also have some of their fish products. We had some smelt up at the front, but a customer seen them and had to get their hands on them, so they took home the smelt.
So we've got the blue mussels and the rainbow trout here. The mussels is really cool. We actually found the brand because of this particular product. We normally carry mussels in like powdered forms and stuff for supplements, but the fact that they have the whole air-dried mussel is such a fun way of giving your pet a treat and also helping get all those omega-3s in there. We're having a nap.
He's sleeping. Yeah. And then they also have their turkey breast. So if you're like, I don't want to do the crazy animal stuff like a duck or a rabbit, their turkey breast. This is almost kind of like more of it's in like shreds, if that makes sense. So it's not whole pieces, but it's not little bites either. It's kind of like little whole piece shreds. And same with the beef spleen as well. It's more of like little flakier pieces. And all of these are great to be as a topper as well. So if you want to mix up the meal and just throw a little bit of this in there, you totally can. So since we're on that train, I guess I'm going to talk about Aria Sit. So we got these in last Friday, and we had so many border issues about this stuff, and we were like, hey, we're not going to get them, and then they showed up. So we were super, super excited.
Olivia ran around the whole store.
I ran around, yeah. I did a little happy dance because I found this brand, and I was like, I'm so excited to get my hands on them. So instead of these being air dried like Charmy, these are freeze dried, and these come from the States. And they're super, super cool. So they have like capel and fish, but we just didn't bring those ones in. But they also have their freeze-dried chicken breast, which is literally just cut up chicken breast. They have their beef liver, just bigger pieces, kind of similar to the Great Jacks one that we used to have, just not as small, but these are totally easy to break. Then we also have their freeze-dried strawberry yogurt bites, which are super, super cool. And then we have their freeze-dried quail egg yolks. So that's what these look like. And if you're thinking, well, how do I feed these? Because they're so big. The reason they're so big is because when you freeze dry items, sometimes they get a little bit bigger. So if any of you guys have seen a little quail egg, they're maybe that big in general, but when you freeze dry it, it just puffs up. Boyer had one of these, and they almost feel kind of like, not Play-Doh, but they're like they're not soft, but they're not 100%
Yeah.
hard either. Like, it's a very weird texture, but it makes sense for a yolk, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But he loved them. He devoured them.
He had one this morning for his breakfast.
Yeah, so like I said, these could be a topper as well. Same kind of thing, humanely raised. They kind of, both Charmy and Arya sit kind of, on their website, they have the same kind of values and ideas as we do. So we're very only feeding the best. Raw is obviously their most biologically appropriate diet. Single ingredient stuff is always the best, kind of stuff like that. But yeah, so there's those.
I think the only one you missed was the anthropod.
Yeah, so these ones are super cool because we've had them before, and then we forgot to get them on our last order, so they just sent them and they came this week. So hemp for paws, we originally have their tinctures of the hemp oil, but they use hemp terpenes, so it's not like you're getting the full CBD effect, but you're just going to get the benefits of the CBD without them feeling like completely knocked out. But these are just going to help kind of with that skin and coat, the omegas, bone and joint, digestion. If you're wondering, will these help with anxiety, I would say no.
Not quite strong enough.
No, and like I said, they're just a treat, right? So I wouldn't use these as like an everyday kind of thing, but if you want to spice it up and give them a little bit something different, these would be really, really good.
These ones are pumpkin flavored.
Yes, so we have the pumpkin ones in right now. And on the back, it's kind of cool too because it'll show you how big the actual size of them are.
So they're kind of a little bit bigger, kind of like more like a
they're like
cracker,
a biscuit.
yeah, biscuit.
They're pretty thick too, I believe. They're about that thick as well.
Yeah, so you can easily like snap them in half or like little pieces and give them as little treats as well. Or big dogs could definitely handle the full.
For sure.
Size.
I would say maybe not give this to a small dog because you'd be breaking it up quite a bit. But a 25-pound dog or less would get half to one of a treat. So like a Zaner size would probably get like a fourth of one.
Yeah.
He would probably do a fourth to a half of one. Yeah, kind of. He's getting there. He's getting the nap time. But there's that. And same thing with like the Charmy or the Arya Stick. It kind of depends how big your dog is depending on which ones you want to do. So I would say the duck stuff from Charmy would be a little bit to your like medium to larger size dogs, but anything else is pretty small, so you could do it for like a small to large dog.
Yeah.
With the Arya Sit, I would say if you're gonna break these in pieces, these would be great for small dogs, but if you want to give a whole one as kind of like a meal topper, then make it kind of for like a bigger pup just because of the calorie wise. But all pups could have the quail egg yolks or the strawberry yogurt bites. So those are super, super cool. But yeah, does anybody have any questions about any of these products? I know we kind of went through them really quick, but there's lots of cool stuff here, and we will be getting more treats in from what Carly found in Vegas. But yeah, is there any other questions about this stuff? Super, super cool items. I love them all. So. Sorry, we'll get you to go around if you don't want to be on camera. But yeah, okay, you guys, if there's no other questions, I guess we'll just wrap it up here. If you guys missed any of the information that we kind of talked about in the video and you want to go back, we will be posting this on YouTube right after, so it's just House of Paws Boutique. So it'll be on there. We post them every single Friday after the live. Like we said, Bark to School Bingo, if you're in Regina, Saskatchewan, that is in-store only, but that's all of September. Just bring your card back before October 3rd, before we do the draws. But other than that, I think that's all we can think of for right now. We do have lots of exciting stuff coming up, so stay tuned, especially for the in-store deals. But yeah, thank you for spending some of your Friday with us, and we can't wait to see you guys again. Thanks. Bye-bye.